At the end of 2021, the biggest dark horse news story involved once mighty game retailer GameStop, Wall Street investors, and the collective power of the gaming community. To understand how GameStop arrived as one of the most mind-boggling financial stories of all time, we have to go back and look at the company's roller coaster history. How they started, how they changed the gaming market, how they slowly began to deteriorate, and how they received an unexpected bonus life thanks to enthusiastic, if a bit starry-eyed, amateur investors. Get ready to plug in as we go explore the rise, fall, and resurrection of GameStop. GameStop's roots reach all the way back to Harvard Business School in the mid-70s, where the paths of two young undergrads, James McCurry and Gary M. Kusin, first crossed. While initially the pair went their separate ways after graduation, they reconnected in 1982, deciding to fulfill their entrepreneurial ambitions. Their idea was rooted in the ever-increasing consumer interest in home computers and gaming. By 1984, the two Ivy League grads established Babbage's in Dallas, Texas, named after English mathematician, philosopher, and the father of the mechanical computer, Charles Babbage. They built their business on four key strategies: constantly updating products, a competitive pricing system, a flexible store design, and an enthusiastic, non-commissioned sales staff that wouldn't bore or scare customers with technical jargon. Early on, the two founders saw value in focusing on video game sales, selling titles from 80s icons Atari and Nintendo respectively. Over the next 4 years, the company expanded, opening new stores and increasing their product line. By 1988, the company went public, and within the next 3 years, video games accounted for over 2/3 of Babbage's sales. By 1994, the company merged with Minnesota-based Software Etc., forming NeoStar Retail Group. Though by that time, failing sales and constant leadership turnover caused NeoStar to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, eventually landing in the hands of Leonardo Bridges, a founder of Software Etc. and chairman of Barnes & Noble, to the tune of $58.5 million. Bridges did his best to bring some stability to the company, eventually selling to Barnes & Noble for $215 million. Around that time, the book retail giant also acquired video game retailer Funko, based in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, as well as Game Informer magazine. In 1999, Babbage's became a direct subsidiary of Funko, and Funko-Land retailer stores began cropping up all over North America. At the turn of the millennium, in anticipation of a new public offering, Funko was renamed GameStop. Right away, GameStop became a tour de force of the electronic retail world. Their innovative buy-sell-trade business model revolutionized the video game industry. Initially, GameStop still remained under Barnes & Noble's control, but in October 2004, GME gained independence. The later half of the decade would be considered the golden age of GameStop. From 2004 to 2007, the company acquired new properties and retail spaces, including Electronic Boutique, or EB Games, becoming the largest video game retailer in the world. 2010 in particular was the year GameStop seemed relatively unstoppable. That year, J. Paul Raines took over as CEO, and over the next 3 years would nearly triple GameStop's revenue from $190 million to over $600 million. That year, the company introduced its Power Up Rewards customer loyalty program, which secured more than 10 million members within the first year alone. Also in 2010, Game Information Digital Edition greeted the world, becoming the third largest magazine in the world with over 3 million digital subscribers and a combined circulation of over 8 million subscribers. Perhaps the most crucial of all, 2010 was the year that GameStop introduced a concept that would both revolutionize the gaming world and also lead to their eventual downfall: digital downloadable content products, or DLCs. The new platform, which offered digital downloads of games and additional content for older games, DLCs quickly evolved into an industry-wide standard. The next few years would see GameStop diversify its interests, acquiring a second-hand Mac retailer and repair store Simply Mac, GeekNet Incorporated, parent company of video game merch retailer ThinkGeek, and Utah-based AT&T retailer Spring Mobile, the latter of which would ultimately end in failure, putting the company in nearly $800 million worth of debt. For the better part of the 2010s, it seemed GameStop seemed bulletproof, but that all came to a screeching halt in 2017. GameStop was a classic brick-and-mortar retailer, with its walls and foundations built on bricks made out of the physical game discs and cartridges. As console and game developers introduced their own digital services, Xbox Live, the PlayStation Network, and Nintendo eShop, they rapidly devoured the game giant's once firm foundation. 2016 saw a nearly 17% drop in sales of the game retailer. By February 2017, out of fear of losing more market share, GameStop began enforcing brutal individual sales mandates on its staff with a program ominously named Circle of Life. GameStop employees reported how the policy encouraged lying to customers to boost sales, as well as generating poor and emotionally distressed working conditions. Perhaps worst of all, the oppressive policies didn't even help, as GameStop stock continued to plummet over 24% between 2016 and 2017. These drops led to the closure of over 150 stores. In attempts to patch their sinking ship, GameStop even tried prioritizing their subsidiaries, which emphasized technology and collectibles, but income and value continued to fall. By 2018, GameStop tried trading itself in, but in the ultimate twist of irony, no one wanted to buy the used game retailer for what it thought it was worth. By August 2018, GameStop let go of over 120 employees and began closing hundreds more stores. Still optimistic, the floundering retailer partnered with design firm RGA to revamp their stores, emphasizing competitive and retro gaming, as well as introducing new methods for customers to try games before purchasing. But just as GameStop seemed ready to reboot itself, the unthinkable happened. The 2020 pandemic brought the global economy to its knees. GameStop was forced to cease operations in all of its 3,500 remaining stores for over a month. Throughout the pandemic, GameStop received its fair share of controversy as the decaying store attempted to fight the various restrictions. To keep the business afloat, the board of directors even took a 50% pay cut, but the company that was already barely staying afloat was now circling the drain fast. As GME stock took a continuous nosedive, seasoned if not somewhat greasy Wall Street hedge fund managers saw opportunity in the former gaming giant's steady decline. Feeling rather sure of GameStop's eventual death, these adrenaline junkie investors decided to take the risky investment maneuver of attempting to short GameStop stock. While the details of the market can be a bit complicated, the gist is that these investors were essentially betting against GameStop, hoping to use the market's completely legal practices to profit off of GameStop's losses. As word of the short gained attention on social media outlets, primarily Reddit, a handful of amateur investors saw this as an opportunity to stick it to the hedge fund managers they saw as grimy villains. Before long, GameStop stock sparked an all-out frenzy as these eager, if not somewhat starry-eyed amateur investors began devouring GME stock. Within 2 weeks, GameStop stock prices exploded faster than Super Mario after eating a magic mushroom. By the end of January 2021, GME stock had soared from just under $20 a share to over $483 a pop, ending up over 16x higher than it had been at the start of the same month. The media grabbed hold of the story, eating up the theater of what many saw as the true David and Goliath story. Even Elon Musk jumped in on the controversy with his now infamous one-word tweet, GameStonk. Amidst all the clamor is an inherently dubious question. What is the true future of GameStop? The company's surging value is not based on innovative product development or changes in their business model. GameStop is still a brick-and-mortar store at the mall, a model that has been slowly bleeding out for over 2 decades. While the company has certainly been enjoying its moment in the spotlight, will it be able to pull itself out of the pit it has dug itself into? Even prior to the stock uproar of 2021, seasoned investors saw potential in GameStop. In August 2019, famed investor and subject of Michael Lewis's book, The Big Short, Michael Burry, stated in an interview that he believed GameStop stock was undervalued and that the company's balance sheet was actually in pretty good shape. For now, GameStop has served as the blade by which Main Street can cut down the big dogs on Wall Street. But the truth is that nobody knows where GameStop is headed. Clearly, the company has been able to firmly establish its place in the hearts of its ardent fans. But will this love give the company the extra life it so desperately needs? Or is it simply prolonging the inevitable game over? For now, we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you for watching. We're good company, and if you think we've earned it, we'd love to gain your subscription. While you're at it, why not hit that like button and the bell icon so you don't miss our future stuff. If you have friends you think would like our content, share this on social media. We got some great company stories to tell you about, and we can't wait to bring it all to you at the same time next Monday. Cheers, and we'll see you guys next week.